Do you enjoy being stressed out? Do you like ruining your fucking night? Well, there's a game. There's a game they made just for you. And we're going in to the Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon starts off like Stardew Valley, where you inherit land from your tax-evading shekel masters. The estate has something that Stardew doesn't, though, and it's Ebola. Besides the Ebola and the gem zombies, they also have 4 ghettos that Ancestor Goldstein wants you to clean up before you can tackle Darkest Detroit. These areas are the Scary Bone Maze, Miyazaki's favorite shitty biome, Super Jail, and the Cove. If you have the DLC, you also get to go to Castlevania with Dracula, and you can also visit the farmstead. Now, the core gameplay loop is quite simple. You have slaves. They come in on a wagon, you get them for free. You can use these slaves to clear out the areas that you yourself don't want to go to. If they get too injured, you can heal them. If they die, you're going to bury them. And if they get stressed, have them take the edge off a little bit. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. Everything will go wrong and nothing will go right. And you just have to accept that. Once you do, we're all in this together. And we're going to get trauma bonded the way that a fucking domestic abuse partner would. Now remember, the estate's got no such things as labor laws. It's perfectly fine to go through the early games dismissing people that you just don't like because you either think they look weird, they're different, they steal too many things because they're a goddamn schizo and they will not get out of the backpacks. If they get like 4 diseases in the wheel from getting thrown up on, send them fucking packing. You don't need to invest time into these losers. We want winners. You don't hit consistently, you're going to the fucking mines. However, like any good captain of industry, you're going to need the right guys for the job. So when you get a winner, you're going to raise him like your own son. And when he dies, and he will inevitably die, he's going to go to the graveyard and be mandatorily mourned by the state. In order to get your guys, you're going to get the schlubs off this wagon, and you're going to put them through the ringer. By doing this, the boys will gain experience and they'll become more confident. However, confidence is a slow and insidious killer. These asshats will develop an ego the size of Texas, and they'll refuse to go on lower level missions by saying stuff such as, "I'm being underpaid," and "This is a waste of my talents," and "How did you get me off the wagon?" So, what happens when this happens? We get more schlubs off the wagon and we repeat the process. There's 18 types of schlub, and they all serve a purpose at some point or another. Heroes have 8 skills to pick from, and you can only pick 4 of them unless you're a filthy animal. Classes go as follows. The Abomination is used to shift shape and stress out the gang. You can get up close and wreck an ant, or you can throw up like the Boomer from Left 4 Dead and blight your enemies. Overall, a solid pick in certain areas. The Antiquarian is good at grabbing shekels, and he's literally good at nothing else. He's good at dying, he's good at getting you the loot. If you need cash, and you need cash now, run the Antiquarian. Just make sure that they're the ones to open all the curios so you get that fat loot. Arbalist is a troubled urban youth who uses a crossbow. When you whitewash the Arbalist, they become a musketeer, and they get a legally acquired firearm as well as losing their penis. Both work exceptionally well in the back line as either support or getting them hard to reach spots. The bounty hunters are cool because they look like frontline tanks until you realize that his armor is one of the lowest in the fucking game. He excels at shuffling the enemies around and dealing damage with strength. There's a fucking bee that just landed on my microphone. Crusaders bring the fear of God to the enemy and for some reason can dance in the team pretty well with Holy Lance. This guy can get thrown 2 slots back and he'll find his way right back up to the front. He's meant to tank, and in fact he's the intro tank class. He was meant to take beatings, but he dishes them out as well as he can heal. For some reason, he's a pretty decent stress healer. Grave robbers are gross. Don't use them unless you're some fucking ape who says, "Actually, dancing teams are fucking good. Dancing teams can suck my dick. I don't like how they move. They've required me to think too much, and I'm not really good at handling complex scenarios."
Maintain the offensive.
The Hellion is just like the bounty hunter, but she's actually meant to tank. She's got it all. She's got stun, she's got buff, and she's got room temperature IQ. This lady is a real blue-collar American. The Highwayman, he picks your pockets and he robs you, just like his fucking counterpart in the fucking city. They also consistently miss their ranged attacks whenever you need them to lock the fuck in. Houndmasters love man's best friend, and they love him back. These guys will make sure you don't go off the rails by letting you know what the dog doing. However, They need to bring treats for the dog, and then Princess can be sent to terrorize the local dog park right before going to terrorize the local elementary school.
Unforgiving.
Jesters are scrubs who play Wonderwall, and they claim to know how to play the guitar besides using the same 4 chords. The mediocre melodies, however, do a pretty good job at getting the gang to schmoove, unlike their real-life counterpart. And as a result, we fuck with his antics. He's hands down the best stress healer in the game, and he excels at dancing parties. The leper is King Baldwin, and he acts like him. He's here to spread the word of God, and he's caking down some heretics. However, underneath the mask, he's scary, and he hits like a truck. However, he's like an elderly man behind the wheel, because nobody knows who he's gonna hit or what he's gonna hit next. And more importantly, we don't know when he's gonna hit next. It's like fucking punching someone in the dark. Man-at-Arms? He's the meta. However, I have a history of getting him killed, and then 20 weeks later, he hasn't returned. He's good at being a meat shield, and he's making sure our boys go first by getting rid of their speed. If you see him, tell him to come home. I miss him dearly, and we're struggling without his financial contributions. The occultist is that one Arabian man in the middle of Topeka, Kansas. He's got knowledge of the enemy, and he's using their tactics against him. He'll also be the single most anxiety-inducing character for the player. He has a heal that goes from 0 to 16, and you best believe that he will hit a 0 and cause your guys to bleed. Plague doctors, they're just band-aids and antidote machines, honestly found in any college restroom. And they can also throw pocket sand and chloroform the enemy, also useful in a college restroom.
In Radiance,
If you put them in the front, they're fucking garbage. Just like the people in a college restroom. Vestal's a fucking god. She's the Pippin to your Jordan, dog. She's gonna get you through all the bad times and help you get all the good times. This hero is all about heals and buffs, and early on, you want as many of them as you can grab, because even running 2 of them is not that bad of an idea to keep you alive at first while you learn how the ropes are. The Flagellant is cool. I don't know if I said that right. He enjoys pain. He enjoys it so much he giveth and he receiveth.
The path is clear.
He gives more damage the more pain he receives, because then he gets his big boy pants on. He's death's door. Fuck it, you're sending him into overdrive. And if he does die, stuns every monster and fucking second wins your boys. The Shieldbreaker fucking sucks. I'll say the Shieldbreaker sucks because I don't like how it fucking uses it. It's good at movement, but I will never, ever learn how to play her. And that's because she's got this bullshit dream mechanic that can kill your guys as they're asleep. It doesn't feel good. I don't care about the lore reasons. I just want to know why my guys can die of anaphylactic shock in their sleep when they're not even in their dream. And there's going to be someone saying, I'm fucking ass at this game. Look at all you fucking mouth breathers watching the Liza P video. I accept that, and I raise you by saying go outside. I don't have a whole lot of time to play this game, so I'm not going to invest a whole lot of time in this game. But you can best believe that I'll play it a couple hours a night throughout the week.
A death by inches.
Parties and quests. Now that we know who the party members are, it's time to build your party. You're going to want the basic heals, buffs, damage, and a tank. You can mix and match whatever you want, or you can go to the Darkest Dungeon wiki or Google and look up team comps. However, I recommend having at least those base 4 before deciding to put that noggin of yours to use and coming up with whatever whack shit you can think of. My personal favorite so far has been the Houndmaster, Occultist, and Bounty Hunter. You really see that I put 2 of these guys together, and that's because I like to stress myself out. We've got no designated tank, and we're just relying on heals. It's a high risk, high reward comp right there, because if we get no heals, we get fucking dunked. But if we do get heals, that Hound and the Hunter, they curb stomp. They curb stomp everything in their fucking path. This party is going to need some quests to go on. These quests range from fighting everything in all the room battles to searching for the MacGuffin and even exploring and seeing what you get. The Farmstead and Courtyard have different quests which don't even need to be started. However, be warned, if you have the Crimson Court enabled, you're going to move the hamlet from transsexual Transylvania to the West Nile with the amount of bugs you have to endure. Also, the Darkest Dungeon traumatizes your boys, and after a successful run, they refuse to even return, so you better get a couple parties ready. There's a couple events. These events are small events that can happen by completing quests or randomly on the side. They can even happen during quests. These typically happen when your guy sketches the fuck out and then summons the Shambler. However, they're also good shit, like bringing all the doctors back to town and making sure the shopkeeper is overstocked on goods so he's giving shit
Another
away.
one falls.
They can also be bad, like the raiders are back to pillage and Big Bird stole your shit in the middle of the night. Some events have certain triggers and time gates, so again, if you want to know everything about them, either play the game or consult the wiki. Now you're gonna ask Jerry, how do I get better at the game? Child, all you gotta do is play the game, experiment. If you want better stats, you send them to go out. A big tip to learn is what enemies do and when you displace them. Some enemies really get their fucking feathers in a jiffy when you knock the shit out of their hands and tell them the attendees are not for you. The hardest part's the early game, but if you can suppress that and you can get some upgrades to the town, it's gonna make them fucking wipes a lot easier to bounce back from. It's like going to the bathroom. It's the shit of 1,000 wipes, and unfortunately the wipes only get easier. There is a DLC for multiplayer where you can battle other people. I haven't played it. It doesn't use any heroes you currently have. It uses a whole separate system and ultimately felt like a weird addition a couple of years down the line, but you either love it or you hate it, and I might try it later. Do not hold your horses on this one. I probably won't play it, and even if I do, it's going to be a very brief update about it. Final score. This game is aged like fine wine. The experience is truly unique and punishing, but also it's fair to an extent, which is weird because most people don't think it's a fair game. It's truly a cult classic that spawned a sequel that people are split on because it went early access on the Fortnite launcher. It's now back at its rightful home on Steam, but you know, people get kind of funny when you move the attendees around. If you have an ego problem or think you're God's gift to Earth, you're gonna get humbled pretty fast. If you have manic depression, I recommend you not touch this game because you're gonna have erratic mood swings, buddy. It's gonna go from up to down. It works so fucking back to it's so Joker. The game is a masterpiece. Go play it, and if you want a more in-depth analysis of things, go check out Matsko on fucking YouTube. He's got 2 videos that are absolutely phenomenal, and like I said, I will link those down in the description below. 10 out of 10 would suffer again. As always, more content to come. I stream on Twitch/YouTube, and I have socials that I neglect in the description below. Thank you to everyone who watched the video and supported me. If you're watching this at the time of upload, I will be live, and you can come join in the chat. If there's anything you think I should cover next, let me know. Until then, have a good one.